Hello and welcome.
Thanks, Robert. Oh, you're talking to...
Talking to the viewers. Hello and welcome to Consolevania.
It's 2021.
It's apparently 2021 now. We thought it would be nice to get together, well, virtually, and say hi together for a change.
Hi together for a change.
So, Ryan, what's been happening with you?
Well, those that follow my online stream will know the situation with my bathroom window, that I've been waiting 2 months for a bathroom window, and they turned up to fit it yesterday, and it was the wrong type of bathroom window, and it was the wrong size of bathroom window. So I was having a wee bit of a nervous breakdown about that, but other than that, it's fine.
Were the workies wearing masks when they were in during the pandemic?
They didn't even bring it up, Robert. They went for supplies for an hour and a half, and I didn't have a window fit in my tiny wee flat for an hour and a half.
You just had a hole in the wall?
I live just a big hole, and I live in Dumbarton, where there's, you know yourself, like quite a lot of weather and wind and stuff.
Aye.
Wasn't it ideal?
No, it doesn't sound ideal when they weren't wearing masks. I suppose it was a hole in the wall. There was a bit. You feel you were ventilated enough?
Aye. I could have done with getting the virus to bring my temperature up, to be honest. Could bring my fever up.
Well, that's the thing. There is still an ongoing pandemic. I'm sure I would imagine the majority of our viewers will have been vaccinated by now. The over 60s the rollout seems to have happened.
The asthmatics get it, I think, so most of our viewers will have been vaccinated by now.
I think if you're morbidly obese, you're quite high up the list, so I think most of our viewers will have been vaccinated by now.
My maw's no got it yet, my maw's still in danger, but as long as yous are alright.
As long as you're alright. I think virgins, they say they're quite high price, so I'm sure most of our viewers have already been vaccinated. What are you reviewing this episode, Ryan?
Excuse me.
Oh!
It's fine, it's just some wind. Death Crown.
Death Camp? Have you been listening to the Joe Rogan podcast or something?
Usually, aye.
Camp?
I've always got death camps in the brain, you know me.
What is it called? Death
Crown. I think you'd really like it. It's meant to be multi-platform by now, but it's still on Steam only.
Well, I've already seen your review, mate, so it does look good, by the way.
Really
It looks really like the games we used to play when we were younger, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I had that kind of...
Not Disney. In fact, you say in the start of your review, Disney, don't... See, this is the thing. Pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
Pay attention.
I agree. I couldn't agree more. Paying attention's how to do it.
And I'm going to be reviewing Moon.
What's Moon? I mean, I'll see it in the review, but what is it?
You will see it in the review, but it's an RPG. It's an old, I think it's almost 25 years old. It's like 20 odd years old RPG that was out in the PlayStation 1 originally in Japan, was never localized here, but only recently got translated last year and brought out in the Nintendo Switch.
Sounds good.
And it's for the same mob that made Lack of Love, if you remember that. I go into all this in the review.
I'm very excited about that Project Triangle strategy. That's just a working title, but it's actually made by Artdink, the makers of A-Train.
Is it?
I mean, it'll be a completely different company by now, obviously, but it's published by Square Enix and it's made by Artdink. But it looks like spot on, like the type of turn-based kind of JRPG that I love.
You were a big fan of Final Fantasy Tactics back in the day, weren't you?
It's got that feel to it, and it's got really dense writing and like this kind of democracy mechanic in it. It's really boring looking in places, and I was like, definitely interested in that.
Well, this has been a great chat. It's almost been like a podcast or something, isn't it? This is sick. Right, let's get the show started. Let's fire straight into some great Consolevania content.
This is the voice of Demo Moore. Please cease what you are doing and pay attention. Hello, I'm Demo Moore and I love demos. In fact, I like them so much that I think there should be more of them. Let me start off by answering the question that I get asked the most. Which one out of Rab and Ryan, from Consolevania, would you rather do it with? The answer is Ryan. Probably most because he takes care of himself and he's such a hard worker. The Bravely Default 2 demo beautifully blends ugly with boring. endure a painfully large cast of these somehow sexually developed 6-year-old Funko Pop-looking cunts with their atrocious, long-winded and endlessly tedious patter. Demomore thought the point of releasing demos was to display some of the best aspects of your game. But it hurt Demomore's brain to listen to this demo. Often the sound isn't balanced correctly and you can't hear the racist stereotypes.
Now there's a fine suggestion. You're a woman after my own heart.
All of the parts of Bravely Default 2 appear to have been made to an acceptable standard and it is bolted together competently. But it is also unsettlingly weird, painfully unoriginal and shit to play. This is the voice of Demomore. Please cease what you are doing and pay attention. Perhaps to a casual onlooker there may appear to be a lot of similarities between Bravely Default 2 and Project Triangle Strategy, working title. This kind of ignorance saddens and angers Demomore. Project Triangle Strategy is an interesting and dense story of families and philosophies at war for power and resources. The competency of the writing and voice acting is far superior. The battles are long and engrossing with rock-solid turn-based gameplay and the battle maps are so beautifully created. It sometimes feels like a memory, as if you are catching a glimpse of Christmas lights out of the corner of your eye when you were 4 years old. Project Triangle Strategy, from Ardink, makers of A-Train, looks like it is going to be a special game and Demomore is very much looking forward to playing it. Or rather Demomore would be looking forward to playing it, but obviously Demomore only plays demos, not full-length games. Otherwise this bit wouldn't work. This is the voice of Demomore. Please cease what you are doing and pay attention. Have you ever wanted to be a ball that turns into a flying disc? Yes. So has Demomore. This is a demo for XO1. It seems to be a game. But it could also be a dream. It is hard for Demomore to tell the difference these days. It certainly is beautiful though. Demomore would be lying if she said she hadn't played through this free demo quite a few times now. It is an exceptional demo. And demos are in Demomore's top 5 favorite things. This is the voice of Demomore. This idea has now run its course. You may resume not paying attention.
He's not got any feet. He wouldn't be able to do that, he's not got any feet. Look how good this game looks, and don't kid yourself on while you're looking at it that you played games that were as good looking as this when you were younger, because you didn't, because they weren't as good looking as this. Only this is as good looking as this. What is this? What is that? What does that mean? Who's she? Oh, you pig. Oh, you piggy. This is Death Crown. Hello and welcome to Death Crown. What Death Crown is a real-time strategy game that looks like it was on, like, I don't even know, what would it have been on? Like a Nintendo? It looks like it would be on some kind of old system for the past, like a Nintendo or something like that. You know what I mean? One of the Apple Nintendos. You know what I'm talking about. Now, this being a real-time strategy game, I should probably not like it, because I don't really like real-time strategies, because there's usually a lot less strategy involved than turn-based strategy, and that is indeed the case here as well. This is a incredibly flawed game. You probably don't even understand what you're looking at here, but what I'm basically, my playstyle is obvious here, and it's obvious that I've recognised the exploits, because I'm basically, I'll explain it to you later. The plot of Death Crown instead is dead good, because what happens is that Lady Death there, that's who you're playing as, tries to go after that mad king, that mad human king, but he traps her and knocks her crown, and now there's a Barney to get it. Oh, you stupid face. I love it. I never get sick of that stupid human face. I hate humans, they're stupid idiots. Ignore that. It is an easy game, but obviously nothing's easy enough for me. So he's knocked her crown and you're getting the crown back one stage at a time. There's also been other modes added over time. This has been out for a wee while, Death Crown, but it is supposed to be multi-platform by now, but for some reason it isn't. If there's a good port to a Switch, I would think that there would be no better system to play it on than Switch. By different game modes, it basically just means you can play this as the humans instead of the undeads and stuff like that. It's not a massive expansion. Basically what the game is you've got 3 things to build that you can see in the lower right hand corner there. You can build like a mine that gives you like currency to build things or resources to build things, a tower to defend yourself, or a graveyard if you're the baddies. Baddies, goodies, mate. If you're Lady Death, you build a graveyard to build skeletons to attack the enemy forces. You also want to be capturing the black crystals that you can see because they act as like a power up to your forces. To be like, totally perfectly honest with you, this is my playstyle sped up. I'm telling you what, I'll tell you what I'm doing here. I'm building a load of towers basically and capturing territory by building too many towers, and he can't deal with that. So I just snuck in the back door basically. I've used the same tactic for quite a lot of the maps. The game, as I say, the game's not even that good, but it's also fucking brilliant. See, it presents a bit of a dilemma, that, because it's not that good, but it's also fucking brilliant. It's fucking amazing. But it's amazing to me, I think, in ways that maybe it wouldn't be to other people. Let me try and explain. Or maybe some of what I will say will apply to you, hopefully it does. I'm sitting playing it basically and I'm going, it's not very good. This is too easy. It's flawed, there's not enough stuff today, it's not very good. And I'm playing through the whole game and I'm going, it's not actually very good though, is it? But I'm totally, while I'm saying that, totally immersed in it, completely totally immersed. Because it's like Battle Isle or Celtic Legends or something like that. It's done enough really well to make me buy into it. And now that I'm buying into it, I'm perfectly willing to start making excuses for it. Because I'm like, I like the way I can just crush people in this. I like the way, not in this particular bit of footage, but I like the way when you're playing as Lady Death that you can just absolutely crush the guy. The way you used to do in old computer games until the bastard got too fast, and that happens in this game as well. It gets really fast and you need to keep a real eye on the choke points. But I just like how powerful you are in it, and I like the way the music, the way everything feels on your side, as if it's the whole thing is designed with you just absolutely kicking fuck out of the human race. Because they've got it coming, let's face it, they've got, no, I don't mean that any offence on a personal level and an individual level we use, but the human race has got it coming, so fuck them. I loved playing this game and all the things it reminded me of. I loved it, I love it, I love it, it's brilliant. It's not that good, it's brilliant, but it's not that good, but it's brilliant. Probably not adding anything new to the conversation, I suppose, by saying this, but I think now is a good time to immerse yourself in a game. But the immersion that I was looking for in Death Crown, I think, is the immersion I was looking for in other games as well. I was just trying not to push myself too far. This is a glider's journey. It's not actually as easy as it looks, to be honest. But when it's nice, it's really nice. It's kind of frightening sometimes, to be honest. You know, I think it's a wee bit spooky to think about that there's people out there enduring life as it is now in 2021 and they don't play video games to get immersed. Mate, that's a ticking time bomb, that somebody who isn't able to fly through some hoops to calm the fuck down. It's only £3.50. It could change the world. I mean, it's only £3.50 on Steam, obviously. I think it's on Switch, so it's probably about 75 quid. I've not included enough footage of your limp glider just kind of lying on the ground. You will be looking at that quite often. Mere relax em ups, is that what these are called, these things? Mere relax em ups I found was the Airy, see, I think it's called Airy, I think that's how you call it, Airy, like Airy. The Airy series, which starts with Airy, a little bird's story, and you just collect feathers. Sometimes you can't see the feathers because stuff's too white. But you're not that bothered when that happens, to be honest, because you're just here to relax, aren't you? That's the only reason you would put this game on, is if you just want to have a big relax. They're pumping new versions of this game out seemingly every day now. I think there's dozens of them they've pumped out now, just with kind of slightly different backgrounds. Fair play to them, they're cashing in on everybody needing a big relax, it makes sense. I mean, they have put nice colours in, there's quite a few nice colours in it and all that. I mean, it's not very good. Obviously, I'm saying it's not very good. But I can't get a PlayStation 5, can I? You can't get a PlayStation 5 because there's a lot of fucking con artists out there that are just scheming and gaming the system. So honest, decent people like me can't get a fuck. So we need to sit and play this fuck. Which is why I was saying earlier that I don't think it's that bad an idea to destroy the human race. Have a good one. Is it alright if I have a mouthful of porridge before it gets cold?
Go for it. While you're doing that, I'll introduce this bit. Obviously, there was a PlayStation State of Play update this week. It's almost like PlayStation's Nintendo Direct, but kind of much more shite.
Oh, has there been a State of Play before?
Yeah, it's a thing today, isn't it?
Ah.
Yeah, So we decided we would watch that and just express some thoughts on what we saw there. How are you feeling about the games you saw there? What was the first one they showed? Was it?
It was Banjo.
Returnal?
It was Banjo Kazooie. That's what they showed first.
Did they?
Yeah.
Did I miss the start?
For about 5 minutes they showed it. Banjo Kazooie, aye.
Are you talking about Crash Bandicoot, mate?
Sorry, Crash Bandicoot.
Right, okay, Crash Bandicoot. Sorry, guys, he's been very stressed.
I'm not getting a lot of sleep as well. It's not been great, to be honest.
He's had a big hole in his wall for a while, and it's not been good.
I know that I can do this life by myself. I know that. It's just sometimes you're like, Jesus Christ, man, he's a break.
I know.
He's a break.
I want to say something about Crash Bandicoot. Why is everybody new kidding on that Crash Bandicoot's really good?
Because it's it, or it's coming up.
But why are people pretending that everybody's excited about Crash Bandicoot? What did I miss?
There's a space in people's brains where they need to get excited, and you can pretty much just switch it out for anything. Whatever's available.
Because for me, Crash Bandicoot came out in the PlayStation and it was alright, it was quite good fun and stuff like that, but then all it really was to me from then on was the thing that was always in cash converters.
Aye.
There was like 10 copies of Crash Bandicoot and cash converters, and now they're opening a State of Play thing with a Crash Bandicoot game.
Well, when we played Crash Bandicoot, though, our brains were more developed. We were like further towards being adults, whereas a lot of young people play the same as you get the weirdos who are Sonic fans. It doesn't make any fucking sense, but they had it when they were growing up, so they're stuck with it.
It's nostalgia. So it's kids. Nostalgia, kids. Aye. People who were younger at the time.
Brainwashing.
I need to ask my wife about that. My wife's 8 years younger than me, right? So I need to ask my wife. I wonder how she'll feel about Crash Bandicoot.
Show business is a dirty business.
The game's a game, mate. What was next? Was it Returnal next?
Yeah, it was Returnals.
Returnal is going to be good.
Looks good.
It's for the mob that made Resogun, right? So they make shoot 'em ups. I'm pretty sure it's a mob that made Resogun. I'm sure the viewers will sort me out if I'm wrong on that. But that all looks good. The minute I saw that house, in the video,
it was nice. It was a nice aesthetic.
The minute I saw the,
I like that it looks. You get a Lovecraft vibe off it, but that isn't doing the over the top. This is all we've got. Is this Lovecraft thing? It was just it was a sense of it.
And I just get the feeling because of who are making it, the shooting's going to be really good. So I think this is the thing. I'm kind of playing Control now. Which I know you played on a stream, right? But I'm kind of playing Control now because it was free, PlayStation Plus or something. And I'm playing through it, and I'm like, oh, this is interesting. It looks nice and stuff like that, and it sounds nice and all of that. But the shooting's kind of crap. You know what I mean? The shooting's kind of very.
I found it confusing. The maps were confusing, and I found the gameplay kind of nah.
I would say humdrum. You know the word humdrum? This is kind of really humming my drum.
People love it though. People loved it.
I know. I'll probably play a bit more of it, but it's no. But I think Returnal could be almost like Control, but with actually good gameplay. So what else? What was next?
I believe what came after Returnal was my game of show, which was Knockout City, a game about playing dodgeball. Can't wait to get a PS5 to play by dodgeball.
Good, you're being sarcastic. Yep. I was a wee bit worried there that you were actually excited about it. You never know. Sometimes these games can turn out really good fun, though.
It looked like that. What's the game where everybody gets eliminated? The Daft Wee avatars, and you need to go through the maze.
Fall Guys.
That kind of market. That's what it looked like to me.
Twitch market. They're going for a kind of Twitch market. You know what I mean? Because it's big on Twitch, and Fall Guys. No, I don't try.
I was on the stream a couple of weeks ago playing with Jerry McLaughlin. He's an actor. He's been in like River City and Agatha Raisin.
Is that the guy who used to do the Giacomo adverts?
Aye, that's him. Aye.
Right, okay, plus size gents wear.
Kind of thinner than he used to be.
On
but I
top,
was
thinner on top than he used to be.
Aye. I was playing on stream with him, Overcooked 2, and that's the same kind of market as those kind of games. And as I was playing it, I was kind of feeling like I was being manipulated, kind of. Like this isn't a good game. All this has got is just a stupid showing off in front of people.
I don't know. I quite like Overcooked. I think Overcooked is quite good fun. It's like, you know.
I was having a break. I was playing with Jerry though.
I can imagine. Was he talking while he was playing?
Non-stop
talking. Non-stop talking. You need to mute him, really. That's the good thing about a day and everything like this nowadays, is that you can actually mute Jerry. You can't fucking mute Jerry in real life. You can't mute him when he's in the room. You know what I mean? But great guy, Jerry McLaughlin. I love the adverts. So what was next on the list?
After Knockout City, Dodgeball was another nice looking wee thing called Solar Ash.
Yeah, well, that looked alright, but I just kind of felt like I've seen this. I've seen this aesthetic too many times now. It reminded me a wee bit of The Pathless, which I really loved, obviously. I reviewed, and I love that on PlayStation 5. And I just kind of feel like I'm kind of bored in that aesthetic. That's why it's exciting seeing like what you reviewed this episode. You know, that's something kind of a bit fresh looking, in that kind of Obra Dinn kind of area.
It also isn't. What I didn't nail in the review is how small it is as well. How like when you're locked in the way you used to be in games. There's so little mechanics, but you realise that you don't actually need. Fuck it, because I've also been trying to play that Cyberpunk game, but it's just so stupidly big. I can't be bothered with it.
Nah, I can't be bothered with that either. What's next on the list?
Solar Ash, that was a duffer. Well, not a duffer, but Five Nights at Freddy, which I've got absolutely no interest in whatsoever.
What's even?
It doesn't even look any different for what it was like whenever they started making them.
I've never played one.
No.
I mean, what even? Mystified by that.
I know that my nephew is kind of obsessed with it, but
we kind of, if you remember back in the day, probably had a bit of a Five Nights at Freddy's situation, remember? Because there used to be Freddy's Food Club. Do you remember?
Aye.
Around the corner. Aye, Munchie boxes and stuff like that. So I'm sure we had maybe ordered Five Nights at Freddy's in the past. Ordered that.
Even years off our lives.
This is ordered something off it was something like a sausage supper or something like that, I remember, for Freddy's Food Club, and there was a ring in it. Do you remember this? Do you not remember me telling that story?
No.
There was like a ring, like somebody's engagement ring or something, was in the food. It obviously fell into the fryer or something like that. We had to take it back, pissed off that, first of all, it was a dirty ring in our food, but also like, this is somebody's engagement ring. They probably would want it back. Disgusting. Freddy's Food Club, Five Nights at Freddy's. What's next?
Oddworld. Sorry. Again, I don't know.
Who cares, man? Who cares?
It's alright, but I don't get the deep lore of that world. Deathloop.
Deathloop looks. I mean, I'm kind of a wee bit worried that we don't have a lot of information about it still. And it's supposed to be soon. But looks fun, and I'll be interested to see how the mechanic works between the characters and hunting each other down and stuff like that. Who knows? It's out there in the ether, but it looks good. I didn't like the trailer. I didn't like that song.
That's all I've seen of it. As you say though, that's all I've seen of the game is just a stylish trailer. So I don't really know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Don't know what I'm dealing with yet.
Does it feel like Smoke and Mirrors a wee bit to you or that? You know what I mean? Does it feel like they're hiding something?
Very stylish, over stylish. I don't know if I missed anything, but we're already on to the Final Fantasy update episode.
Obviously, I'm really excited about that.
I don't understand. I can't get my head around this. It's another thing that I just can't get my head around. Because I really, really did try to play that first episode and really, really, really didn't like it.
But did you see? I've been thinking about this. I've been thinking about this a lot. I've been thinking, why did Ryan not like this?
Because
Barrett, did you only ever play it on the stream?
Aye.
See, here's a question I want to ask you.
Are you trying to argue that I'm not being genuine and I'm being performative on stream?
No, not at all. That's not what I'm going to say, but I have been thinking about this and it's a question I want to ask now, since you're very experienced in the streaming side of things now. Do you think when you play games on a stream, it's a different experience if you're just relaxing in your house with a game on the telly and just playing it? I don't mean it's like you're being performative or you're having a kind of, you're pretending you're feeling differently about it. I'm not meaning that. I'm just meaning as the act of playing it itself. Like, do you feel, because Final Fantasy VII Remake has got sections in it that are kind of slow and no much happening, and you're just kind of wandering about. And I remember when I was day streaming, when I would hit the bits in games where there's no much happening, I would feel almost like a dread, a panic of like kind of, this is really dull to watch.
I've talked about it on stream before, and like, it's shone a light on how absolutely fucking really, really bad I am at games. But a thing that I've noticed that's happened before is that if there's a slow bit, or if there's something that I'm not enjoying, or it's baffling or whatever, I immediately start to get really self-conscious about it, and end up like either like switching to some chopping and changing games too much, or just like ending the stream on a downer because I'm just like, oh fucked it.
Aye.
So it's definitely not the same thing as sitting playing by yourself. No. So you suggest that I should try doing that, but Barrett sings the theme tune on the train.
It is, but I would argue there's a reason for all of this. This isn't a remake of Final Fantasy VII. This is you know what I mean? This is the beautiful thing about it, and it's like I really wish you would just play it through to the end just to see. Because I think even if you still don't like it, it would be interesting to have the conversation with you about what's actually happening. You know what I mean?
That intro for the new character in the next episode as well. Oh my god.
Oh, come on.
Oh my god.
It looks absolutely amazing.
What's on the things about all the voices? I don't like the voices.
It looks amazing. Absolutely amazing. Can you not choose Japanese audio?
Probably. It was in the trailer.
Anyway, it looks good. But what was interesting to me, I thought, was that the PlayStation 5 upgrade didn't look that much better than the PlayStation 4 one, did it?
I didn't even see the difference.
It didn't look that much better, but it just shows you. I mean, it really did look good on PS4.
I love that title on screen, though, that graphics on PS5. As if Xbox and Nintendo don't have any graphics.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm obviously excited about that. But then you have missed something, by the way. You've missed with the exception of Final Fantasy VII, my game of the show or the presentation, which was Sifu.
Oh, aye, that was really nice.
Sifu, which was for the guys that made Absolver, I think, which is something else we've reviewed on Consolevania. Feels like we've reviewed tons of it.
That was about a 75%, although, was it no, in your estimation?
Yeah, it was, but it was still, there was something really clever about the fighting in it. There was something I was like, they've got something here. So maybe they've kind of took that and they've refined it for Sifu, and that just looks great. That just fighting guys, hand-to-hand combat. I feel as if you don't get many hand-to-hand combat games these days, so it's a nice fresh area. I think it was quite exciting, but still, I didn't feel there was any massive reason to buy a PlayStation 5 yet, unless Returnal turns out to be something spectacular.
Especially given how difficult it is to get one just now.
Aye, no, you're better just waiting.
And people are already, like, I've read, I'm even not paying much attention to games media. I've seen that there's been like articles about the quality of the controller, like the build quality isn't going to last. And
never mind articles about the quality controller. I've already had to replace a controller. I've already had to send one back. My PlayStation 5 controller, because it started drifting on the left stick.
I think there's a good chance that more savvy gamers will just go, they're going to have to update this tech in like a year or so anyway. I'm just going to wait to get
They will probably. I mean, I just kind of feel there's no rush in terms of, you know, it's nice to have and stuff like that, but I do think, you know, everything I said when we were talking about PlayStation 5 and the new Xbox a few episodes ago, still kind of stands true. Like the Xbox's dashboard and all that, and it's just its OS is just really nice and really easy to use. And PlayStation 5, just the shop is a mess, and it's just, you know, there's just a bit of reworking to be done there. But it's still, stuff looks beautiful on it, though. You know, it really does. Stuff does look beautiful on it. Anyway, that was a state of play. That was good, wasn't it? That was like something you would hear on a podcast, wasn't it? Do you not think you would listen to a podcast about that kind of chat?
This is a podcast. I think that's what this is.
Is this a podcast?
You Google what a podcast is, and this might be it. I can't do it because I'm on full screen mode.
Okay.
I was talking to the viewers there, sorry.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were talking to me. Right. You're not on Twitch now, mate. The viewers might not even watch this. There might not be any viewers. See, I'm getting kind of God rays coming in. Do you see these kind of...
Thanks for the resub. Angry Nerd 23. Sorry, just force of habit.
Force of habit, mate. Force of habit. Let's move on with the show.
My name is the Big Boss Man Ray Trailer, and this is my overview of the trailers, punk. I'm sitting here in my webcam chair in Cobb County, Georgia, and I'm watching these silly ass trailers for these dumb ass games that you little punks like to watch and play so much because you ain't never done no hard time. Right here we got some stupid dumb Pokemon creatures that kids will be running around chasing. I did a lot of chasing in my time, chasing down the Canadian Mountie, chasing down the Repo Man, chasing down all comers. And I tell you, I chase them down and I lock them up in my cell in Cobb County, Georgia. They be serving hard time for the Big Boss Man. But this little man, he gonna be throwing some balls to catch some creatures, and it's an open world, Breath of the Wild style. Let me tell you something about a Breath of the Wild. My breath get wild when I think about kicking your ass up and down Cobb County, Georgia. When I think about coming out to your family and telling your family that their son or their father has been taken into prison cell and he has died in captivity. He's hung himself with his wig like they feared Gary Glitter might do. And that's what happened to you, Cobb County, Georgia. I'm sure looking forward to this game full of these stupid little animals that you punks like to catch inside your balls. Well, let me tell you something's gonna be happening to your balls. Have you ever had your balls in a vice-like grip of a lawman from Cobb County, Georgia? Five Nights at Freddy's. I don't know much about Five Nights at Freddy's because I'm a grown-ass man, but I tell you, I know plenty about Five Nights in a state penitentiary in Cobb County, Georgia, and that's where you'll be ending up if you continue to play these juvenile games about teddy bears giving you a fright. You can't get no fright from no teddy bear if you're from the south where my mama lived, where she made me my grits and she made me my gravy, and we never got scared of no teddy bear with jagged teeth. Let me tell you something, only man who ever frightened me was a Jacob Snake Robertson. He was no teddy bear, he was just a heroin addict and a junkie. He's much better now, he's in better shape now, and I am deceased. However, this is what justice is when you come to the court of the Big Boss Man in Cobb County, Georgia. I will be judge, jury, and executioner on this, and you have got to stop playing the Five Nights at Freddy's. Not even 4, not even 3, not even 2, not even 1 night at Freddy. No night at Freddy for the Big Boss Man. Now, if you want a game for real men, if you want a game that we would have played back in the WWF, back in the days when a Heartbreak Kid and Macho Man Randy Savage was in the back doing their things to make the eyes pop out, then this is what we would have played, a man's game that we play Cobb County, Georgia, a game called Sifu. Now this is what I'm looking forward to, a game about combat, a game about mano a mano, in the ring, in a squared circle, in the corridor, a man a ponytail and a man bun. We never wore man buns back then, but if we could have worn them and got away with them, we would have. Let me tell you, I'm looking forward to playing this Sifu, and I hope you're looking forward to it too. My name is the Big Boss Man Ray Trailer. This has been my look at the trailers, and this is exactly how I feel about the Big Show's daddy being dead.
Right now, Ryan, before we go into this Moon review, a wee bit of switch ditch action for you here. Here's the premium edition that I ordered for Amazon Japan. See it? Premium edition. It's got good stuff in it. I'll show you what it's got.
This is interesting that you're reviewing this and I'm reviewing what I'm reviewing. I can't wait to see this episode that I'm in.
This is just dropped a bit. So it's got a nice big art book in it. See, does that look nice?
Is it black and white or is it colour? It's black and white.
It's got like loads of sketches and stuff like that, colour and black and white. But it's got like nice sketches and of all the characters and stuff. It's a really nice presentation. The reason why I wanted to show you it though was because it's an interesting one, because this is like a special edition for a game that hardly anybody's played, really. And so you can tell they've just kind of made it because they love it. You know what I mean? Because the people involved love it. They've got these kind of beautiful art cards they've made that shows it as a kind of, you're not going to be able to see on this, but it's like it makes it look like a theatrical presentation, almost like wee cards that you would get if you went to the theatre to see something. They know they've made something special, and it's almost like it's just nice. Know what I mean? It's one of the nicest ones I've got. Because anyway, we should just play the review. Let's play the review.
Okay, thank you.
This game is fucking great. It's fucking magic. It's fucking great. This game's a masterpiece. I can't wait for you to download it and play it and give it a go, and you to take my word as gospel and give it a go, and 15 quid in the eShop. When you play this, you might fucking faint. When you play this game, you might actually faint. When you play this game, you realise that maybe actually games are art. Maybe actually art.
Moon Remix RPG Adventure, to give it its full title, is an RPG developed by Lovedelic, who, if you remember, right back in the early days of Consolevania, we reviewed one of their games before, a game called Lack of Love on the Dreamcast. They were a developer who made lots of offbeat, strange games, and this is without a doubt their masterpiece. Not just their masterpiece, but their masterpiece is what aliens might say about this game if they saw it. There being us, being humans. This is humans' masterpiece. This is a masterpiece. In this game, you are not the hero of the RPG. You are somebody that's been sucked into an RPG game, and you're following around in the wake of the hero. What you're doing is, as the RPG hero is going around and killing monsters and levelling up, you're going around and trying to reunite the monsters' spirits with their dead bodies so that they can be rescued. You are expressing love by interacting with characters and finding the moments of love within their life and within their routines. It's got a day-night cycle. All the villagers and stuff have their own routines. This is before Shenmue came out, before Majora's Mask came out. And it's really staggering from moment to moment, from beat to beat. You're constantly surprised, shocked, stunned, amazed, delighted, and just...
Dziękuję bardzo. Być popol. Będę mógł. Być popol. Być
I mean, this is just a game that you fall in love with. You fall in love with Moon. Let me quickly try and explain why this game is so good. First of all, the characters. This is an old guy you meet who hates Americanisms and yet communicates almost entirely in Americanisms without realising it. This is the kind of humour that's shot right through everything in Moon. It's a really funny game. Even though it's a game about love and about heart, and there's a lot of sad stuff in it, most of the time it's just really, really funny, and I mean genuinely funny. I mean, it's funny. And sorry for the spoilers here, but this is one of my favourite gags in it. This old guy telling you a story. Listen. And then you can't hear him or the sound his windmill mechanism spinning round. I mean, it's funny, right? That's funny. Here's how I imagine this game came to be. I imagine you had these game designers who were used to making RPGs, using the conventions of RPGs, using all the tropes of RPGs and the systems of RPGs, and they've sat in some late night restaurant or bar in Japan, and they've said to each other, imagine you had an RPG where you couldn't just walk about killing monsters all the time to level yourself up. Imagine you didn't have that game mechanic to lean on all the time to fill your game out. Imagine you made a game where you leveled up by doing compassionate things and performing acts of love. What would that game be like? Well, here's the first thing it would be like. It would be a game where you couldn't rely on random battles and constant battles to fill in the game time. You don't have that to lean on. That crutch is gone. So what you need to do is keep coming up with new ideas all the time. New things for the players to do. New experiences for the players to enjoy. Just new points of light all the time that make the player go, oh my god, this game is just genius. It's genius. Like, this game must have been really difficult to make because it's constantly having to one-up itself with new ideas and new stuff, new moments of beauty and psychedelia and weirdness. And yet, while doing all this stuff that could easily become really self-indulgent, it's giving you rock-solid puzzles to solve. Because I guarantee you, you will reach points when you play this game where you go, I can't solve this puzzle, it's too obtuse, it's too weird, it's too abstract. And then you realise, when the solution occurs to you, actually, no, it was right there in front of me, it was plain. This game's just one step ahead of you. This game knows what the expectations of a video game player are. It knows that the player of this game is going to be an RPG fan and has certain expectations about how these games play out, and it will constantly subvert them, and it will constantly surprise. I mean, you're lucky I don't have 45 minutes to talk about this game because I could really go deep on this. There's so many small moments of beauty and small moments of deep philosophy and also comedy. Back at this guy again. Do you enjoy Westernism? I mean, it's funny, right? So remember when I'm saying all this, remember that the game remains funny all the time, right? Before I go into this kind of, before I put the old wank hat on, right? The game tries to be heavily philosophical in a very efficient manner. It doesn't. One of the other RPG tropes that it dismantles completely is that thing where in RPGs there are huge information dumps. There are characters who talk and talk and talk for ages to expand on philosophical concepts. What this game does is it makes all that stuff really brief and really efficient. Some incredible one-liners in here, some incredible wee moments of insight, quotable stuff that just takes you on a real journey, takes you on a real emotional journey. It's also nice that one of the characters is called Florence in this game, and he's this mad old guy who lives in a mushroom forest and gubs mushrooms all the time, which is obviously something I've never done, but I imagine if I ever did gub mushrooms, maybe I would end up like this guy. This was a nice wee point of interest for me as well. I mean, that could be me. He's away. Cheerio! Say no to drugs, guys. Fall 7 times, get up 8 times, that's life. And then you're sitting there thinking about that. Oh, there's some love. See, getting love in this game is sometimes just spending time with people. It's a beautiful game to play at this point where we've had a pandemic, we can't even get together with our pals or anything like that. It's really been quite moving to play a game that's all about just making connections with people. Sometimes you level up in love just by listening to somebody talk, just by going to visit them and hearing them talk about their life or their memories or stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's a nice thing to be reminded that expressing love is sometimes just being a listener. It's sometimes just being there for people. Back to this day-night cycle, which was really quite ahead of its time. It's a kind of living world where everybody goes about their routines, and sometimes you just have to sit and wait things out. Sometimes you have to sit and wait until night time, wait until the next morning, because things happen at different times of the day and surprising developments happen. And to make this stuff easier, you're allowed to buy mini discs. You're allowed to create your own soundtrack that you can listen to. This is a recording of an Amazonian tribe singing a song. You can buy that off your character and you can queue it up on your mini disc player and listen to it. You can create your own soundtrack as you wander around the field, and the soundtrack is just amazing. It's just, I mean, this is the way this game is curated. It is an art piece. It is an art piece because you've got these designers who are having so much fun with this game, so much fun experimenting with the RPG and adventure game form, that they've went further into the world of the soundtrack and curated this really, really artistic soundscape as well for it. Really emotive and really artistic, and you're just playing it and you're thinking to yourself, this is so ahead of its time. So ahead of its time. Because now obviously we have indie games, and this is a game that really influenced Undertale. You have these indie games that explore these video game tropes and you know, try to kind of deconstruct them and stuff like that. But this is a game that did it at the time when this stuff was all happening, and does it better than any indie game I've played. Does it better than any other game I've played. This is the ultimate deconstruction of the RPG. This is the ultimate deconstruction of the adventure game. It's a game that anybody who is interested in video games needs to play. If you love video games, you need to play this. Oh, and you want a wee arcade game bit in it? Of course. Of course there's going to be this. I didn't say it would be easy. So we've got a game here that cares about video games. It cares about how stories are told in video games. It cares about the planet. It cares about the environment. It cares about animals. It cares about how you live your life. It cares about the expression of love. It cares about the concept of what love is. It cares about humanity. It cares about people. This is a game that cares about how the sun rises and how the sun sets. This is a game that cares about creativity. It's a game that wants to inspire. And hopefully now that we can play it in English, it will inspire even more people to maybe visit that parallel universe where games developed in this insanely imaginative, creative, love-filled direction. Here's me just sitting with my granny. Except she's no my granny. She's the granny of a deed boy. I'm just wearing his clothes. This is Moon. So, we should do a podcast.
I think we just did one.